Greetings there, fellow builders. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Survival Fountain of Youth, Episode 3, Simple Shelter. Alright, looking at my energy, I'm kind of tired. So the other thing is, when you're by the fire, your flu treatment chance goes up, and you're also protected from the cold. Pests, like scorpions, won't get near you. So there's some benefit. Oh! Let's not step in the fire. That would be, like, not great. And, let's get to sleep now. And then we'll continue building the shelter, now that we've managed our food and water for yet another day. I'm hoping for some sunny weather, but we'll see. So, I know that my regular axe is about to break. So before I venture out to cut down more trees, because I know my axe is just, it's going to break, I might as well focus on the next axe. So, let's do that. Oops, wrong button. So make another rope. And then in my crafting tree, blueprint. Oh, some decorative stuff. Make the improved stone axe. And I'm just going to put away my iron axe as like an emergency provision, right? Like, there's some HP on it. Granted, it's not much, but like, I could use it in a pinch, maybe. The other thing is, when you're traveling around, I would highly advise carrying like a few curatives. Because, especially if you're far away from your base, if you're not near like definitive healthcare, or your cures or whatever, a bunch of different conditions can compound. So let's say you got a cut, you got a runny nose, and you got bit by a snake. Your max health is going to start really plummeting, and you're going to be in deep trouble pretty quickly if you don't take care of that stuff. So definitely don't venture too far away from home without, you know, a pretty decent amount of medical supplies. You know, maybe what I should do is to figure out exactly... Before I leave, let's go ahead and use all 11 builder toolkits. And then try to figure out how many more builder toolkits I need to make so that I don't, you know, overdo it. So for each builder toolkit... Well, no, that's not entirely true, but I want to collect a few more rocks because the foundations require stones. And then all of my stone tools require stones as well. Are we eating chicken tonight? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, critical hit to the neck. So I can skin the chicken. Yeah. Or I can stick the whole carcass in my inventory. Right now, I don't really need a chicken carcass. That becomes a crafting item much later on in the game, but like not one that I care about right now. Power right in the gizzard. Hashimoto, thank you for the resub. I see it on my feed. Sorry, I was like, oh, you know what it is? My alerts are off. I'm a big derp. Let me turn my alerts on. Or like my alerts, I have a special tool to create noise for me when you guys do stuff so that I hear it but you don't. And that tool was disabled because I'm a big derp. So raw meat, it spoils really fast, so it's definitely something I'm going to want to cook sooner or later. And then feathers, which is good for like arrows and the like. Alright, let's grab the hammer because it's hammer time. So stairs, another foundation, and then these walls do not require builder toolkits. The doors require long sticks. And the roofs don't. So it's, I would say, useful to at least get a roof over your head so that if I'm like, I can move the bed right here and I'd be protected from the rain. I'm about to lose daylight, though. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I had half as many as I needed. My hammer's pretty worse for wear. But I'm going to wait until the tools fully wear out in order to repair them. Repairing them early doesn't provide you much benefit. And I'm thirsty enough that I can go for this green coconut. Alright, before I fully lose daylight... Oh, I don't need to be carrying around both spears. It actually helps later on when you're doing a lot of hunting to have one spear to throw, one spear to defend yourself, but I don't really need to do that right now. I have a little bit more energy left, so I'm going to do a few more tree cuttings before nighttime. I did also mean to make the new fire starter, the spindle. So... let's get back to that real quick. So I need one more rope for that. And in the crafting here, as you can see, if I just click on the rope, I can go straight to crafting the rope. And because the ropes are in local storages, I don't need to jump through extra hoops to like withdraw them or anything. It's really nice. So now I have a bow spindle, which has a higher chance of ignition for when I light things on fire. And it has higher durability. So I have to make fewer of them and repair them less often. Before I go back to cutting down trees, let's cook up some of that meat. And then also make a new torch, because my current one is going to burn out. The basic primitive torches that you can make suck. The next tier torches are like really good and they last a long time. You drop. Extinguish, drop. So I'll just show why I destroy things, even though it's not meta. It's because it like gets everywhere. You end up with all your like junk littering around the ground. It's kind of ugly. Alright. I would say my character is actually legitimately tired enough that I could probably go to sleep. Can you become a pirate? No. But to not reveal too much about the game, there's sort of two paths forward, and it's not a spoiler because I can show you that right in just a second as soon as I put my bed down. I just want to move my bed over to inside my pop-up tent. Whatever this thing is. So here, as you can see, the location features has no rain because it has a roof over it, even though it's not fully enclosed. And then also, if I extinguish the fire, I can move the fire. And I know having a fire inside like this seems like a ridiculous fire hazard, but it's fine. So to show what I was going to say, when you go to a new region, there are different ways to get to a new region. There's a Spanish way from getting clues from the surviving crew members, or the native way for piecing together native maps. So there's sort of two, or in this case, there's a technological way of just making a better boat. But a lot of these new regions have like the Spanish way, the native way, or the technological way, as you can see, except for the last one. The last one has Spanish or natives. So there's sort of two ways to play the game, which is you can be you can go the Spanish way of uncovering the story or the native way of finding map segments. And both are totally valid methods of play. Okay, let's complete this cabin. So, I have a fresh axe. I have a stone saw. I will grab one extra stone to repair the saw. And we are good to go. Yeah, and you could do both ways. They're not mutually exclusive. You could do both Spanish and native. As long as you unlock one, it allows you to get to the new island, but you can unlock both. Or all three. Technological, native, and Spanish. Are there zombies and stuff? No. But there are some fantastical elements. I don't want to spoil too much, though. So I said 11, right? So I only need to cut down 3 trees, and that will be enough. Alright, stone saw broke. Let's repair it with a stone. And my repairing is now level 1. And then before I go back and, like, finish the thing, I'm going to cut down one more tree and turn this into a split log. Split logs are kind of like planks. They're like crude planks. And that unlocked a food dehydrator, a log storage, a cart, a log cart. So log carts allow you to cart logs a long distance. Improved workbench, a tanner workshop, a compost bin, better repair kits, and then I'll do one more for, oops, a half log. Half logs are like really efficient fuel sources, but they're also blueprints too. So a half log plus a hollow log gives a primitive barrel, which stores liquid that doesn't necessarily evaporate. How heavy am I now? You know what? I could do one more tree. Except for there aren't really any other trees over here. So instead, I'm going to cut down the... or gather long branches from these trees. Long branches are really useful early game. Oh, I got over encumbered. So what I'm going to do is drop these half logs. And I'm going to drop them like this so they don't roll into the water. They don't decay, like nothing decays. Well, that's not true. Like if you drop food and then you don't pick it up for a long time, like when you come back to it, it's not going to be food anymore. It's going to be a pile of rot. But like I can leave that there and it's going to stay there. Did we get the Yoda cam that was cached in? Yeah, my things was disabled, so there you go. I'll leave the Yoda cam on a little bit. And you wanted dog treats too? Dog treat for Yoda. Dog treat for Tusk. So it looks like I'm losing some daylight here. Character's a little thirsty. I don't have... So, let's see. There's a coconut palm up here that I haven't hit yet. But I am running out of, like, easily forageable material. So, at some point soon, I'm going to want to consider constructing some method to obtain water. Because relying on collecting coconuts is not a long-term viable strategy. The map is not procedurally generated, no. Because there's like a whole story. Okay, there we go. Food and water is good for now. So I lost enough daylight, but because we have already prepared all the builder kits, tomorrow I should have a complete shack. Meaning, let's vote for the next priority. So if you think that I need some way to collect water, voting for 2 would be that. If you think I need better, like, weapons, like a bow or something, vote 1. If you'd like to see more of the starter island, vote 3. And then if you want me to work on an Island of Hope map or getting the Forgotten Spyglass, or alternatively, to completing survival tasks for skill points, vote 4. Alright, so I think I have all of the materials needed to finish this thing. So we'll take the hammer and 1 stone and all the builder toolkits. And all the long branches that I collected previously. And I just got another survival point, and that new survival point is because I built 4 walls. Alright, my stone hammer's broken. Pair it with a stone. Are there seasons? So this takes place in the Caribbean. So, yes and no. There are not seasons, but there are regions. There are biomes. So there are cold biomes. It will take a sec. Oh, there we are. So here, home comfort. I'm inside the house, and I'm protected from the sun, rain, wind, and pests. The risk of getting injured while carrying out processes is decreased. So I have a completed home now. It's also worth mentioning, I might as well move this inside. Put the workbench indoors. Because if I have a decreased chance of wounding myself indoors, I might as well have my stuff indoors. Oh, right, that's filled. Let's build another chest. I think what I'll do is I'll end up putting foundation... Well, I'll figure it out. But I'm out of small twigs. Okay. There. Not enough small twigs. I just salvage some of the materials on the beach. So I'm just moving everything kind of inside. That's too heavy. There we go. The range at which you can withdraw things from your chest automatically is pretty high, so you don't need to move everything inside necessarily. It's keeping chests outdoors, there's actually a bit of a benefit, because indoor square footage is like at a bit of a premium. Okay, you guys want me to improve the base? What I'm going to do is set up water collectors so that I can fulfill my food and water, or my water needs a little bit more easily. Food needs is a whole bunch of different sources, but water needs only really comes from one place. The other thing I'd like to do, well, yeah, let's consider that. So taking a look at my my survival points too. If we take a look at the survival tasks, make a coconut rain collector, a water collector, and a date palm juice collector will give me skill points. So let's do the water collector first. So in order to make this, I need a coconut flask. And a coconut flask needs a coconut. So here, I need a ripe coconut and a liana rope. So let's make a few ropes. 3 of them. Because I'm not planning on just making one water collector. It's not enough. I need to make multiples. And then the other thing is I need a place to store the water long term. So water collectors will collect water when the weather is rainy. They have a finite maximum storage. And once it stops raining, the water will somewhat quickly evaporate out of the water collector. So you need a flask of some sort to move the water between the water collector and a storage container. And then you need something like a permanent barrel to be able to store the water so that it doesn't evaporate. So there's a few different things we need to get to have better water storage. Now, there's a whole bunch of different things that can store water as well. It's worth mentioning. So if I take a look at a campfire, for instance, the upgraded campfire can store water, and a tanner bench. There's a bunch of things that can store water. Some of them are like watertight and don't evaporate. Some of them are not. I think the coconut palms here I've already collected. So let's see if there's... what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a ripe coconut to make a flask out of. But I hit all of the ripe coconuts on this beach pretty hard for food, so there's not a lot left for crafting. What's in this box? A loaf of bread. I'll eat it. And that's of course like flotsam that washed up. Alright. I will probably need to venture somewhere else for ripe coconuts, but I'm gonna run along the beach because I'm more likely to find it on the beach at least. So if you spot like a little brown coconut, let me know. Stale bread? Ah, it actually wasn't stale bread. If it's stale, it looks different than what I ate. That was fresh bread. Just like this one. Will spoil in 12 days. Having your food and water above 70 also gives you natural recovery. So it gives you more stamina and reduces your chance to get like negative status effects. So if you're able, it's really nice to try to keep your stats high, because it offers you a fair bit of regen and protection that you otherwise wouldn't have. So I'm just grabbing everything on the beach that looks useful. But we'll probably have to scan the southern half of the beach down here for coconuts. I could also hypothetically sail back to the starter island, because there were coconut palms on the starter island, but I don't think that is time efficient. So I'll probably not do that. With all the random stuff that I collected, I'll put that away. Yeah, the flotsam, most random junk you find on the beach only gets broken down into 3 small twigs. Very rarely does it break down to anything else other than 3 small twigs, except for one exception that I'm like heading, well, a few exceptions, but one of which I'm heading towards right now. So, speak of the devil, you'll see in a second. Man, I am... Oh, there's one. Perfect. So instead of eating this bad boy, I'm going to turn it into a coconut flask once I have access to the ropes back at the base. But I would like... I need at least 2 flasks to really have, like, water storage. But ideally, I'd like 4 flasks. So this is what I was referring to before. This broken rain collector, and I'm going to dismantle it. And this broken rain collector gave me a rope and big branches. So when I needed the big branches before, I could have just collected it from this rain collector. Alright, having made this flask, that opens up a new blueprint for the coconut rain collector. 4 small sticks and a rope and wide leaves. So I should continue collecting small sticks and wide leaves. Wide leaves are used for just about every medicine. So it's like continually one of those things that you need. so it's always helpful to grab. I'm also nearly out of daylight. So I'll be turning back towards base soon, because I at least have the coconut flask for the first rain collector. Ooh, gathering level 2. Oh, a tortoise. Sorry, bud. I'll remember you. Oh, I don't have a suitable cutter. I'll make a new one. You can see the... Whoa, that looks cool. Because I would need a cutter for these coconuts anyway. Oh, don't have to carry weight for that. There's a coconut over there. Not a ripe one. And if you're wondering, you can't turn unripe ones into ripe ones. They're like functionally different items. There we go. I don't have any torches on me. I'm just gonna go a little bit further. See if I can't find maybe at least one more. I would mind, like, 2 rain collectors is probably fine. 1 is probably not enough. So 1 more ripe coconut and I'd be square. And I think, yep, that's a coconut tree straight ahead. So that should give me the ripe coconut I need for a flask and, oh, 2 of them. Don't hurt yourself. Good. Alright. Didn't hurt myself. I'm gonna drop the stones. And eat 1 of the coconuts, even though I don't have room for all the water, because I'm trying to lose weight. There we go. So now I'm not encumbered. Yeah, I didn't have a torch on me to be able to illuminate picking those coconuts, so I was worried about cutting myself. I do have bandages, though. So had I cut myself, it would have been fine. So the current priority is not just the water collectors, but date juice, collector, water storage, and flask. All the above. It's a long list of things I'd like, but it sort of secures my my initial liquid needs, which are some of the harder ones to meet right at the start of the game. I'm also going to bring my carpentry workbench back to the base, because there are... Oh, you know what? There's trees here. I'll leave it here, so I can cut those trees down later. Can I do anything with that whale skeleton? No, but bones are a collectible resource that you can sometimes find in caves or on rocks around beaches. But that whale skeleton is just decoration. Alright, we'll do the crafting tomorrow. So there's the coconut flasks. And I need 3 more ropes for the collectors. Well, I only have materials for 2. I need narrow leaves for the 3rd. Luckily, I'm on a beach full of narrow leaves. I should be collecting more of these narrow leaves. The green leaves are used for crafting. The yellow leaves are used for tinder. I generally don't find it super useful to collect like tons and tons of tinder, but the green leaves for crafting is pretty handy. So for the location features, it's important to have rain as a feature for your water collectors, because putting your collectors where there is not rain is worthless. So there's one collector, and I'm going to spend that survival point in learning. So now, every 5th completed survival task gives 1 more survival point. So I've only completed 2 survival tasks. So the benefit of that, you know, is solid. Let's see. And I'm gonna make 1 more of these bad boys. So 2 water collectors, and then I have... Actually, how many flasks do I have left? Okay, I can make 1 more. 3 water collectors. There's other methods of collecting water, and there are bigger water collectors too. But I find the base ones, these basic ones, are just fine. They get the job done. So the water collectors themselves are done. I did want to do the date juice palm collector, which is a flask, bamboo sticks, and a liana rope. But currently, I don't know where bamboo is. I have long sticks, I have big branches, but I don't have bamboo marked, so I can't really do that date juice one just yet without extra mapping. But what I can do instead is that basic barrel. So making a hollow log will unlock that. So let's go get that done. But the flask I have here allows me to transport... no, sorry. The flask I have here allows me to transport water between containers. And before I leave the base, take the medicine and a cutter and I'll open up 1 coconut for water. Did I mark those? No. Well, yes and no. The way the game works is you can map things with charcoal or an ink and a quill, and it will put it down on the map. So like I technically marked them down, but there's a sort of it's kind of like Assassin's Creed where you go up in a perch and you like scout out the nearby area to reveal everything around you. That would be a good analogy. So I didn't mark them individually, I marked them by a cartography mechanic. So once I finish up the current priority of setting up a water barrel, what do you want for me to work on next? To improve my individual gear by upgrading the boat, upgrading my weapons, armor, or making more medicine, improving the base. So the next things to build in the base, if you're wondering, would probably be... So there's water distilleries, there's skin dryers if I want to start tanning stuff, there's tanning workbenches, there's a kiln, so there's a bunch of different machinery that I could do. A lot of that machinery might rely on materials that I don't have access to just yet, which means mapping and exploring is also very important, but I'll leave the choice up to you guys. So 2.5 minutes to vote on that, while I collect the materials for the water barrel. So now, with this hollowed out log, I can make a farm plot and a primitive barrel. Oh, I'm out of daylight. I'm gonna risk it. Good, didn't get injured. Because it was the last tree in this area that I wanted to cut down. And now I can just run this back over to the base. So one of my side quests here is to map all 5 cartography trees. Oh, shoot. I left my carpentry workbench back there because I opened up my journal. To map the 5 cartography trees on the Island of Hope, which is the island I'm starting on. And that will show most, but not all, most of the strategic resources on this starter island. The other thing I ought to do is move my raft over to my dock. You know, I built a whole dock. So maybe I will move the raft this trip, and I'll take the carpentry workbench next trip. Because there's trees over there I could cut down too of the carpentry workbench. It's also worth mentioning that your boat itself can be upgraded. So I can upgrade to an improved raft, which adds a container for storage, and base durability goes up with just like long sticks and small sticks. And most boats, or like all boats, can be upgraded a few different times. And there's a whole bunch of boats. How many boats are there in this game? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 different types of boats? Maybe 6? 5 or 6? All with their own subset of, like, benefits. Also, the boat is a fast travel mechanic. So I don't want to take 4 hours to travel over to my dock, but you can fast travel around to each individual dock. So when you explore new zones, it's really helpful to put a dock down. So that you can fast travel there in the future. So I'm just parking my starter boat on my dock so that I can gain access to it much faster next time. So the other part of the water storage equation was a primitive barrel. And I'll put the barrel here. Did it in the dark, but now I have 30 units of liquid water that won't evaporate by putting in that hollow barrel. So if it starts to rain, I can put the rainwater away. Okay, we are going to improve gear. So let me consider what I could do here. So as far as tools go, I don't really need a shovel at the moment. I don't have a coconut for a mortar. I don't have fish bones for a fishbone needle for sewing. I could do a pickaxe, but I haven't really found anything to mine just yet. So there's not a lot of tools that I would really benefit from. There's a bow that I could start to make a primitive bow, but honestly, the weak bows are kind of garbage tier. They're, in my opinion, not that much worth making. I might want to upgrade the quality of my bed before I start to sleep on it, though. It just occurred to me. The quality of your bed is your energy regen rate. So, nicer the bed. Oh, good, it's raining. The nicer the bed, the less sleep you need to get. So I think what I'm going to do is, as far as improved gear, I just improved my bed, so that's one big one. I am going to upgrade the boat and then map around for better gear materials. So most of the better gear that I could make myself requires ingredients which I have not found yet. So if I want better gear, I need to get better materials. So these water containers store up to 10, and then you can take water in your flask and then dump the water from your flask into the barrel so that the water won't evaporate once it's done raining. So I'm just sticking as much of the fresh water into the barrel as possible. So this barrel now has 24 units of water. And you can also drink straight out of these water collectors as well. The red icon you can see at the top right is that the leather backpack I started with will break in about 20 days. So it's slowly decaying, but like 20 days is that's a chunk of time. Also, the clothing that I'm currently wearing is breaking down too. So that's the other symbol. Oh. Let's see. So yeah, I got about 30 units of water from that rainstorm. And now all the water is out of the water collectors and either in the barrel or in the flask I currently have that I'm putting away. Okay, ooh, medicine level 1. Nice. Thank you for tuning in to Survival Fountain of Youth, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I'm trying to avoid spoilers in the comments, so don't spoil anything. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors.